Today we are doing a Chatnoir deck profile. Getting right into it, of course we only run 3 Chatnoir, reason being we can fetch him with Mike or Mike Saburo or whatever the hell you want to call him. That's so good, we can rush, we can fetch, we don't really need to run more than this or your hand will get clogged. 2 Arusha, reason is I don't like the honorary prof build right now. It's really fun, I get it, but it's not a really well-oiled engine yet. We're missing quite a few key pieces to really make the game plan run smoothly. So for now, I am still going for this. This skill turn is so good, and so we're running this. We only need 2 because usually we kill them before we can do this break right turn, and so we can also fetch it. We draw a lot, so 2 is enough. 1 Tuskmaster. It's basically a fetchable Crayon Tiger because of Mike, and so when you don't have your Crayon Tigers and you really need them for the Cat Paluk turn, you can fetch him with Mike and all is good. For Crayon Tiger, basically the only reason Great Nature isn't the worst deck ever. Great Nature needs a lot to become good, and Crayon Tiger is basically, it's so good. It restands something, it gives you draw, it gives you power, it makes all the plays. For Binoculus Tiger, we are basically running the rush build where you will have a field early on, rush, draw a lot. And so this is your ideal ride target. You will often call down a trigger over here, and then you use Duckbill and Mike to make that trigger plus you, and then you boost it with this. That way you have a 9k attacker. So you will often have like Bino, Duckbill, Mike, a trigger. You swing +4, this becomes a 9, and then this is a 14 column. Kill the trigger, fetch 2 cards, really nice. Compass Lion, reason is Binoculus Tiger, you only run 4, so the chance that you ride it isn't like 100%, and so having something like this is very nice. Riding this will do so much for you. Overall, this slot, I also run to Guru Wolf, which is even better in the early game. But like this slot, you can change it around. There's people playing Sleepy Taper, there's people playing 4 Compass, there's people playing 4 Guru, there's people playing Field Glass Sea Otter, there's people playing Anchor Rabbit. There's so much stuff you can play here because there's like, nothing is set in stone. I get why people make certain decisions. It really is a meta call. Like, I get why you would want to run Sleepy Taper now, because control is back and like that resist is very handy. But also this in the early game, giving you that extra draw is so good. But also riding into an 11k to stop some rush from Blaster Blade and stuff is also very good. Of course, Field Glass Otter is so good because it gives the +4, it bounces back to hand. It's just a really good part of the engine. However, I am not a fan of Field Glass Otter because you can't pump Duckbills and Mikes on it because it doesn't die. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, this slot is very random. You can put in there whatever you want from those 4 or maybe 5 choices I mentioned, and you'll be fine. For Unflip PG, this deck goes through Counterblast like crazy. So it's actually very smart to use these. I will often ride into it because I really want the Mikes and the Duckbills to be here and use their skills. But yeah, overall this is just very nice. And also our success perfect guard is really bad. Like, I love what it looks like, I love what it does, but it doesn't work with the other success stuff. You can't kill Traveling Momonga with Maltese because Traveling Momonga cannot be killed for a cost, and Maltese's skill is a cost. So overall, the cards just don't work together. Hopefully we get something better in Zoonation. This is the best choice. For Mike, best card in the deck after Crayon Tiger, maybe together. Like, this guy and Crayon are the only reason Great Nature is somewhat okay-ish. If they limit these, Great Nature is done, it's over. This deck relies on this guy. For Duckbill, basically a Mike, but you draw instead of fetching. Really nice. Gets you your rush. And also gets you pluses. Just a very good card, one of the OGs from the deck. I actually used to run this deck with Leopald back in the day, Leopald Reverse, Tank Mouse and so forth. 3 Stride Fodder, because we can fetch grade 3s, we don't really need 4. 4 would be nice, but I don't have the room. 12 crits. It doesn't really matter which crits you go for, as long as they are 5Ks. So I'm not running the big belly crit. People are going like, oh, but sometimes use the skill. First off, you don't. You barely ever stride into the big belly stride because you usually kill by Cat Paluk or maybe the break stride, anyway, the break ride. Anyway, you want 5Ks because, like I said earlier, you will often call them down here and give them +4 and swing with it. And so that would be an 8K with a big belly crit. So you really need the 5K crits without any special skills. For heal, This one is very nice because it gives you a counter charge and you desperately need that in the deck. Telescope Rabbit. Sometimes you brick and you don't ride into Compass Line or Binoculus Tiger and you do want early kills. So this Telescope basically gives you that kill on the trigger or whatever you call down there. So you can get your mics and your duckbills going. 2 Catpaluk, the OG. The very reason that Chatnoir is actually an archetype. It just gives you so much draw. You do need 4 counterblast, but if you have that open, you get so much. You swing with it, you get all your crits on this guy. You will have a Crayon Tiger over here. It will swing with a lot. You will swing with Crayon, you restand it. Like, it's basically the Tidal Assault play that Aquaforce has. 2 Big Belly, she's nice, but we don't need 4. If I had 4, maybe I'd run her, but overall I have never felt a need. 2 Mana Garmer. Pretty nice as well, pretty old, outdated, but oh well. The GB8, we never go into it because we simply don't last that long. The deck we will either deck out or they will be dead. 1 Fernigas gives you your resources back. It will, however, also help you deck out, so watch out. Afank, give resist to stuff. Rimturs, if you're really bricking and you can't do your Catpaluk turn, then you use this one instead. And then a lot of G-Guards. You will never use all of these, but the thing is, we have so many G-Guard options that are decent that we are forced to run a lot to go through the options. And also our strides are just pretty shit, so it's okay. Gives you unflip, gives everything resist. This is awesome if you don't have a field, and this gives you the counter charge. So as always, thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe and make sure that if you want a custom playmat design like this one, very, very nice, go to the Facebook page and contact me.